welcome to my channel. I'm Egla and today we are going to be talking about journaling. Why should you do it and how can you do it? Now I'm really excited about this because I'm also going to be reading for you one of my entries so that we can actually see what it is all about journaling. So let's get into the video. So I brought like 3 of my journals. Some of them aren't like journals, like this one isn't one. This is where I actually jot some of my things down, and the reason I brought them is because I want us to discuss the whole journaling thing. It doesn't have like a clear set of rules on how you should do it because we are all different and there are certain reasons why we decide to journal. And that brings me to my first point, which is find the media that you want to use in recording your entries. And so most of the time I actually don't journal on my books. I do that on my phone. So once you find the medium that you want to use to record your entries, it could be through your mobile phone, your laptop, or even like simple books. I have brought you different sizes so that you can see. This was a gift from my friend. I love it so much. You're going to be seeing it in so many of my videos. And this is where I just write like short notes on things that I'm going through or some things that I want. I haven't yet written so much, so it's quite blank. This is my second one where I write so many of my ideas. I've been doing this for so long. And then I have this, which is my personal one. Like, this is where I write my feelings down. So you see there are so many different ways you can explore your journaling idea. You could be doing entries on the things that you have done probably in a week, a month, or daily basis. But for me, I just try to make it simple. If it's on a daily basis entries, I write it on my phone. I also have a mood board where I track my moods and try to understand why is it that I'm acting a certain way or why is it that I'm feeling a certain way. And so for this is where I write most of my emotions into, and I think this is actually where I'm going to be doing sort of a preview on, and I'm going to be showing you some of the stuff that I write. So on to step 2, you need to figure out where are you in life. And I don't just mean in terms of your achievements, but also in terms of your feelings. Journaling is sort of an escape where you just go to a place where you're so safe and you write down everything that you're feeling. And so you need to understand, where are you? Like, what's your point? Are you at a point where you're feeling like you're sad? Are you at a point where you're feeling depressed? Are you at a point where you're happy? And once you're able to establish the kind of feeling that surrounds you, it's so easy for you to understand the kind of direction that you want your journal to go into. And so by you determining this, it will be so easy for you to actually understand the purpose of you journaling. And you can have different journals that have different purposes. Like I said, I'm not just going to give you a step-to-step guide because journaling should come naturally for you. I'm just going to guide you on how you can actually embrace this and go tap into your feelings, because how I journal can't be the same way you journal. I can give you the tips on it, but how you choose to actually take that pen and paper and write is all up to you. But I'm here to guide you, so let's go on to the next step. Tip number 3 is writing as often as you can. I know, I feel like so many tips that we're given are be consistent. If you also want to blow up on YouTube, you should be consistent. And so on your writing, make it as consistent as you can. It shouldn't be every day if you can't do that, but I do recommend just writing something down. Again, something that we hardly say is that your journal doesn't have to be a textbook that you can refer to. There are people who don't want to see some of the things that they wrote. I could have written something like 2 years ago and I really don't want to read it. Like, I just want to write those feelings down and that's it. Bam! So you can choose your approach to journaling by writing down on a piece of paper and then tearing it down once you're done. Or you can just write it in a book and not even necessarily go back to it. I can choose to keep my journals so that I can refer to them later, but you can choose not to, because sometimes I'm someone who really talks a lot, especially if I'm comfortable like I'm doing right now. I'm just talking. And I prefer, if I cannot speak to someone about a particular thing or I want to keep it to myself, I will write, and I will write it. And so I can even do it on my phone. I can try to speak to myself, and sometimes talking to yourself cannot be something that you can do at the moment, so just write it down. And you can always delete it at any particular point because you just want something to vent into. You want somewhere where you can just write your feelings down, and it's perfectly okay. Go on to step number 4. I hope we're really at step number 4. So I would say write down your goals and your ambitions. As much as you're journaling, you also want to feel like you're doing something impactful in your life. And if you're always just writing things like feelings that are probably not positive, it can make you just look back a bit and feel disappointed. So I do recommend writing things that are actually going to be impactful to you, things that are going to bring in a positive cheer to you. So write down your goals, your ambitions, and you can also write things that you have achieved. That way, when you're also just looking back at your notes, you're so happy about a particular thing that you did. Again, no pressure. You don't have to write everything. I keep saying this. Okay, did I keep saying this? But you can't just write everything. You can also leave room for next time. If I'm probably writing about something that I'm going through right now, I can leave out a small part so that I keep thinking about it. And then the next time I come to journal, I'm actually going to remember that, and it's going to open so many things that I had no idea about. When you're also doing your journaling, you should be doing some shadow work. Look at certain journal prompts online. I like looking at Pinterest. You can search these journal prompts and then just write them down and actually randomly select the one that you're going to go through with for that week or that kind of day that you have chosen to do your journaling. So again, just do your research. You can check out other people who are also talking about journaling and kind of figure out what is it that you can fine tune in your journaling and figure out, what is it that would actually flow better with you. We go on to tip number 5, do not hold back. And what do I mean by that? You need to write exactly what you're feeling. Do not feel like you need to hide some stuff about what you want to really write. Just write it down. And once you're able to actually clear that, you will have a very clear chain of thoughts because you're not really holding anything back. And that's the purpose of journaling. You need to be able to just get it all out. And once you do that, like I said, look for a thing that's private to you. You can just do it on your phone and just write everything that you're feeling. And sometimes it's also nice to just look back at it and write down in point form and understanding how I can put the positives and negatives and how I can actually intertwine them. It's all good. Those are your thoughts. And through your thoughts, actually, let me tell you something. Through your thoughts, you'll be able to get ideas that you can use in your life. It could be that I'm writing down on my journal entry that I am feeling very unmotivated about doing stuff that I love. Once I'm able to actually write down and then I come and review it like a week later, I'll be like, wait, I was feeling unmotivated last week, and why is that? And I'll be able to see through the notes that I wrote because I was not leaving out anything. And the thing is that our minds cannot remember everything every single time. There are things that I had last week that I cannot remember. And if I note it down and I'm coming to read it like a week later, I'll be able to actually think, wait, hold on a minute, I can remember this kind of chain of thought that I had last week. And you'll be able to actually understand how is it that you can improve how you are right now. And so by that, I'm just telling you to keep writing because you'll be able to get ideas that you can use in your future, and they're really going to help you. So I feel like we've expounded much about journaling. It's very easy, and again, do it according to how you feel is great. Do it at your own time, do it within the pace that you want. You really cannot compare your journaling to another person's, and I hope that your journey in journaling is going to be awesome. Now, I did promise that I would read something from my journal, and I'm going to do it right now. So let's see. This is the journal in question. I got it because it's really cute. So let's see. I wrote part of my... This is so cute. Okay, I'm seeing so many entries. I'm seeing somewhere I actually gave it a title. I wrote the beginning. What was I beginning? And then I have some where I was talking about my thoughts. I have some where I was writing a letter. Sometimes when you're also doing your entries, you can write it as a letter. It could be a letter to yourself. It could be a letter to God. One thing that I actually didn't mention in the 5 points that I give is make your journal very personal. I tend to do this every time I'm writing things down. I tend to exclude everyone else. I do not write about other people because I feel like this is where I get to be a main character. This is where it's all about me. And so when I'm writing down, I'm only seeing Edla, I'm only seeing me. I'm seeing things in I because that's what my entry should be about. So try to just block out everything and everyone. But time and time again, if you're journaling about something that involves other people, you could try to write about how they are connected to the kind of story that you're giving, but don't put too much emphasis on them because this is a place where it should be about you. When you're just coming to read, you're like, yes, this is what was happening, because it should be all about you. So I think the prompt that I can do is one where I did write the beginning. It's when I got this book, so I was writing the beginning of a kind of journey that I was going through. And some of the things that I can siphon from this is I wrote, I am scared. And I wrote that I am scared because of this, this, and this. And I noticed that I'm using questions in everything that I'm writing. I'm asking myself, am I going to do this? And I actually wrote, I don't know, I just feel out of place. It feels like I'm not doing enough. And down there, I'm actually giving myself some kind of solutions, and I wrote down all my fears. So this is something that I love. I wrote down something after I wrote down all my fears, and I wrote exactly this. Egla, you're a genius, and all your dreams will come true. Stop doubting yourself and get up. Tell God what you feel and ask for what he will give to you. Wait, did I have bad grammar at this particular point? He will give you what you ask for, and then work on it so hard. And so I wrote down some of the things that I wanted to do. Should I read it? Okay, let me just read them out. I wrote down 3 things that I felt. Now, the reason I actually wrote these 3 things from what I'm seeing is because I felt like I was having so many goals, and I wanted to just put them into smaller sections. And I felt, let me just write 3 things that I'm going to work hard on. And once I'm able to actually achieve them, I'm actually going to now go slower into these other goals and ambitions that I have. And I'm going to read them for you. I wrote number 1 as start my channel. Mental health is the niche I'd like to go into, and lifestyle. Do workouts and encourage your audience because they have rough days too. Oh my. I'm starting to read this and I'm actually thinking of the kind of place that I was in when I wrote this. And I do feel like I can remember some of the things that I had in my brain when I was writing this, and it's just making me a bit emotional. And then number 2, I wrote workout and maintain a healthy diet. Future Agla is looking at me like, okay, the past Agla is like, did you actually maintain that diet? I'm sorry, Agla, but we still haven't started being consistent, but we do work out sometimes. And then number 3 is finish driving school. Okay, I'm almost done, so I'm actually done. It's just doing my exam. So Egla, you have done like 2 out of 3, and I'm so proud of you. We're going to work on number 2. And then I wrote down, I would like to work on these 3 things this year. Let's see how it goes. The funny thing is, I wrote this entry last year in August. This is when I started this book. And seeing that I wasn't able to achieve this last year is still good enough, because I took my time to actually find out how I can actually go about my journey. And I am just so happy to have gone through this and show you one of my entries. I just pinpointed some of the things that I thought should be relevant to what I've told you. If this was actually helpful for you guys and you enjoyed this video, kindly like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and see you on the next video. Bye!